You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days of Our Lives fans. This is SoapDirt.com, and we have got your Days of Our Lives recap for Wednesday, April 12th, 2023. There's some big action today. It involves cops and a brawl and drugging of biscuits and a passionate kiss between two people who shouldn't have their lips on each other. So it's pretty exciting. Let's dig in, but be sure to click that subscribe button so that you get all of our Days of Our Lives latest recaps and spoilers straight from our YouTube channel. Now, as we open up on Days of Our Lives on Wednesday, we find Eric coming home concerned because he sees that Sloane's apartment has been trashed and he worries something happened. Instead, he finds his ex, Jada Hunter, with her blue cop gloves on, and she is executing a search warrant. It turns out that Paulina Price got a threatening text message, and of course they assume it's Sloane, and they got a warrant, although they have no proof. And sure enough, Paulina doesn't know who sent it to her because it came from an anonymous sender, and then they came looking for a burner phone, but they find nothing. So in the end, it still doesn't look like Sloane is guilty, at least not yet. And then there's some awkward back and forth between Eric and his ex about she doesn't think that he should be seeing Sloane, and he's wondering if she's seeing anyone, and then she takes off. Then we're going to see Talia and Rafe over at the Salem Police Department, and she comes in asking him questions about where is her sister. And he tells her that Jada is off working, but then she talks about him and Jada having dinner last night. And that's when his boss, Abe Carver, pokes his head in, and he's sure not happy to hear that there might be a breach of ethics at the cop shop. She leaves, but then Abe has a lecture about it while Rafe insists that it was a platonic dinner, and as a matter of fact, it wasn't him and Jada. It was him and Jada and Talia all sitting around talking. Then he tells Rafe that Paulina is doing okay after her scare, but he's really worried. Abe's ready to go, and Rafe asks him to please stop pushing about this Jada stuff because it's just not a thing. We're also going to see Chanel coming to see her mom, Paulina, and she has got some goodies for her to sample, but Paulina wants to throw it in the trash because she doesn't think that Abe needs sweets. But then when Chanel tells her mom she bought a bear claw, everything changes. They also talk about the big lady whistleblower expose on Sloane. And that's what Chanel meant when she told her mom that she was going to take care of her. Remember, she ran right over to little Leo Stark and gave him info about Sloane. And he ran this really nasty piece titled, "Is Salem's Top Legal Eagle a Total Psycho?" They're laughing about it. They think it's pretty funny. And Chanel's really mad when her mom says that she had another panic attack and she had it right in front of Sloane, and Sloane mocked her, didn't take it seriously, and then walked away when she was in serious distress. So that has Chanel really ticked off when she leaves. And then out in the square, Chanel runs right into Sloane and she goes off on her about her mom. They end up getting into a physical altercation, and Chanel actually hits her with some flowers. Well, first she slaps her, and then she hits her with some flowers, and then they're back and forth, and it's just messy, messy, messy. Talia walks up on it and breaks them apart. Sloane tells her that she's going to have to get a restraining order against her, just like she did against her mom. Meanwhile, Chanel got a cut on her arm, and Talia takes her back to the bakery, and she treats the little scrape and then tells her she got the better of, quote, that white girl. And it's a pretty funny scene. Then we see Sloane coming back to her apartment, which she sees is trashed. And Eric talks to her about the text message that triggered this warrant, and she offers him her phone and says, you can take a look at it, but he just sets it down on the table. She's really frustrated with everything, and she goes up to take a shower. As she goes, Eric picks up the phone and he unlocks it, and then he looks at it, but he's thinking really hard about whether or not he wants to dig into this. Also, we've got Gwen, Chloe, and Xander in a really good scene. So Xander and Chloe have been hanging out for a couple of episodes at the Brady pub. They've been playing darts, and of course Brady Black showed up, and he wasn't happy to see them being chummy with each other, and he left them together, and both of them have been venting to each other about their exes, Brady and Gwen. But then Gwen walks in. That came at the end of last episode, but they replayed it on Wednesday. And she comes up and confronts them and says, so the rumors that Lady Whistleblower had for her are true, that they are a couple. And then Chloe goes off and calls Leo dirt, and Gwen says that Xander treated her worse than dirt. And Xander says they were not doing anything romantic, they're just friends. But Gwen keeps pushing and making accusations. And finally, Xander snaps and says, fine, I'm in love with Chloe. And he grabs her and he smacks a passionate kiss on her. Chloe doesn't push him away, which is, kind of a big deal. But then he breaks off the kiss, and Gwen is in a fit of rage, calls him a pig, and storms out. After Gwen's gone, Chloe turns to him and says, yes, she's right, you are a pig, and she slaps him in the face. And then Xander apologizes for the kiss and says he really does want to be her friend. Then Gwen goes back to the room that she shares with Leo, where Leo is in a snit because Sloane threatened to sue him over the article, and she also called his clothes tacky. He's in pink jeans and a rainbow sweater, and he does look very cute. But Gwen comes back in a fury and tells him all about Xander and Chloe. So all of this is getting good, but the big scene of the most interest came in the last 60 seconds of the show. They showed the clock, and it was 3 hours after Chanel and Talia left the kitchen because they had been in there cleaning up her little scrape on her arm. Somebody who you can't see, who's in a dark hoodie and their face is hidden, you can tell nothing about them, they have gloves on. They grab this bowl of dough and they dump a vial of something in it. And if you've been keeping up with the Days of Our Lives spoilers, you'll know that that dough is meant for biscuits, and Salem is going to go wild at the end of the week because the whatever drug that is making people act very amorous, and there's some very unlikely pairings happening. So that's everything from Days of Our Lives, Wednesday, April 12th, 2023. Be sure and hit that subscribe button so you get all your latest Days of Our Lives goodies right here on YouTube from soapdirt.com, and check out our main website for the latest articles on spoilers and all the other happenings on the Peacock soap opera.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.